Hi there, Prairie Plant Girl here. The last video you saw, I'm pretty sure, was from Monday, and now it's Friday, the 18th of March. And look at the difference. When I was out here earlier in the week, the snow was up to the edge of this. I couldn't move. This was frozen down. The ground is still frozen. You probably can't see from where you are, but it's still frozen here. Can't get my finger in it at all. A little bit of mud on my fingers, but that's it. But the snow has really gone down. The compost is starting to thaw out a little bit. I might be able to get my thermometer in there. Even my garden helper Buster here has decided to join me outside, which he's been staying out of the cold and staying in the sunbeams in the house for months now. But he's enjoying the melting and all the smells out here too. But I came out here today because I wanted to take the ratty old wreath that I've had on the front door, the one I made in a video months ago with nice beautiful fresh greens for the winter, and it's not looking that great anymore. So it's time to switch it out, and I thought I'd come out here, try and collect a few things from the yard. I'll have a few things that I've already collected and have dried from earlier, like in the fall, and just see what I can do to make something that looks a little bit more seasonally appropriate and just overall nicer than what I had up there right now. So I thought I'd bring you along. We'll try this out together, and looks like the sun's going to come out, which will be nice because it's about 3 degrees right now, and the sun shining will make it feel quite a bit warmer. So let's go see what we can find. So I still have some of this ornamental millet out here. Some of it's trampled down in the snow. This one might be too big, but we'll see if we can make it work. There's a bit more over here. This is the Jade Princess millet. I really enjoyed it. It was last year's the first time I grew it, and I've enjoyed it for just in the yard and for bouquets, and even had it in my winter wreaths, and now I'm going to try it in a spring wreath. So I have some more stored away, and a few more things I think we could use for this. So let's go look. You probably can't see it too well, but I have some birdseed. But I have some more of this millet here. I actually still have some greens here. I had a friend that was going to come do wreaths with me, and then it just didn't work out this winter, and I had a bunch of stuff stored for it that we didn't wind up using. And then I have over here a bucket of some kind of dried seed heads and things. Some of these might be interesting. So take those with us. Nope. Might use this little bit smaller wreath form too. We'll see. Over at the edge of my patio, I have some hydrangea blooms, and they're going to need to get trimmed back anyways, so I guess I'll do that now. Some of these are a little worse for wear. I'll just leave those. But I have more that are dried in the house that I can use that actually still have some beautiful color on them. So I think that'll go a long way to get some spring feeling with some of the purpley pinky ones. I'll show you those in a minute. So there's the pinky purple hydrangea that I had in the house. There's a little bit of pinky purple blush to these, and these have much more of color on them. Some of them even have a bit of green on them. And then I have this pink ribbon. I'm not usually a big pink person, but I think this will work in this case. So use some of that, I think. First, I'm going to need to deal with that because I think I want some of the millet that's in here. I want some of that out, so get working on that. Wow, like I said, it's only 3 degrees out here, so I had to grab a coffee. I actually have some battery-powered lights wrapped up in here, and this big ribbon. Other than the lights and the ribbon, it was all like twine and that, but let's see if we can get these off and get this pulled apart. So I think the way I made this, I should just be able to cut this twine, and this whole thing should just come apart for me. And then all of this is just you know, other than the ribbon and the lights that I already took off, everything else is biodegradable, compostable. So I just used like some jute twine. So that and any of the branches that are on here can all just go right into the compost. So let's see. Birds are loving this weather too. So there's the form, and it's still in pretty good shape. I've used this for a fall arrangement and a winter arrangement, and I think I'll just save it, but I do think I'm going to try and use the smaller one next, but I'm going to get rid of these things. I'm just going to set that to the side. Like I said, I was looking for this millet that was in here, because you see how some of this, you can see it still has the purple sheen even though it's been out on my door. This part has been protected by the greens, I think, the stuff that's still purple. So I think that'll be really nice. Whereas the stuff I just clipped out of the yard has kind of faded out to just a brown. You see this where it's touched the light more is more brown. They turn it around, there's some purple. So I'm hoping I can get that to show up in my next arrangement. I might use some of the cedar. It's still in nice shape. It might add just a nice little bit of green, you know, like a bouquet and a filler. We'll see. So I just have a bucket here. I'm just going to throw everything in that I don't want, so it can go in the compost. The cedar might be too brittle to make it work. We'll see how it works out. So this is just hydrangea blooms that I've cut over the last few seasons and just let dry. Okay, so here's the hydrangeas we cut today. Some more of these. A little bit of cedar greens. And then what do we want out of here? I think what I'm mostly after, we do like a few spikes. Let's see, we'll maybe do a few spiky things. And this bright kind of yellowy tan. And then we have some Alexanders here. I think that's what it is. Now the seeds are kind of getting loose. Might just give it a fluff and see what we're left with, so it doesn't make a huge mess every time the door opens. I wonder how many of these are going to be growing in this part of my yard this summer. That might not have been a good idea. And find some clippers. I'm going to trim this down because I don't need this much stem length. So I'll have those. I think the rest we'll leave probably for the compost bin. So that's what we have to work with then. We have our hydrangeas, our ribbon, this kind of grass head here, I'm not sure what it's from, the Alexanders, a little bit of cedar that might work. We'll see if it just falls apart when I try and work with it. And this millet should be nice. So then I just have some twine here. And I think we'll just do kind of little bouquets if we can. Keep getting plants in my coffee. Oh, and the wind is going to get up. So these hydrangeas are a bit delicate. I'm not sure if they're going to love being hung on my door with it opening and closing several times a day, but we're going to find out. So I think I'll kind of just see if I can make kind of little bundles and wrap them to the form here and just see how it goes. I think one is enough. See what I'm doing there. And just the nicer side here. Maybe pop just that little bit of greens in the front. So that'll be my little bundle. Trim this end down a bit more. And I guess I should have started my string, so let's do that. I'm out of practice. So I'm just going to take my string here and loop it through to make kind of a knot. So I just made a loop. I'm putting the whole ball and the one loose end through. Then I'm going to take the loose end and actually wrap it around a couple more times and tie it off. I think I'm going to try and move that up because I didn't really, this frame has a little bit of an oblong kind of oval shape to it, so I don't want to start too far down. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to take this little bundle that I've made here. I'm just going to lay it on my frame over where I put the twine. I'm just going to wrap the twine real tight, and I'm not going to worry about that little loose end so much. I'll just tie it into everything. Get it out of my way here. Okay, so I'm just going to take the ball of twine and give it a couple good wraps around 3 or 4 times, just till it's nice and tight, and then I'll make another bundle. So that last one didn't have very much of this purple color in it, so let's get a bit brighter look going here. These little grasses want to float away on me. So there's my next little bundle. I'm just going to try and kind of layer it. So this one's kind of pointing out that way, so I'm going to try and layer this one this way a little bit. You know, I'm going to swap so that this more purpley hydrangea is on the other side. There. Stay together. So when I overlap them, I'll get that kind of in the middle. There. Just wrap it around. And you can see this millet is hanging way down low because I didn't want it sticking out too far. So it's just hanging down low, and that's fine. Cover it up and we'll trim it up later. So again, I'm just going to do a few nice, good, tight wraps on here. Set it down and make another one. So this bit of cedar has a bit of brown on it, so I'll just nip that off. And so since I had this one going this way, I'm going to lay the other one the other direction. I'm going to try and put a bit more space between them than I did the first two, because I don't have a lot of material here, and I'd like to get at least halfway on this form here if I can. These hydrangeas have a really nice green hue to them, which I think is very springy. There's some, I'm not sure which variety they are, but I've had them cut for a couple of years. Put some more purple behind them. There. You can hear the chickadees out. So I'm just going to keep going through and wrapping these, and I'll show you when I get to the end. You want to pull it fairly tight. These are dried already, but you don't want them coming loose on the door. Okay, so I've gotten almost halfway around, and what I think I'm gonna do is I saved this nice pink hydrangea bloom and a couple of these millet. I did go and add a couple more hydrangea blooms actually, I grabbed 3 more off that bush. I'll take these like this, and I think I'm going to put them the opposite way. So you can see this here. I'll turn it, and then I'll put a ribbon here and hang it, and I think that'll look nice like that. So hopefully it does. You can see it better than I can right now. So I'm just going to tie these on, and then we'll work on a ribbon. Okay, so I've tied that on pretty tight there. I wanted that hydrangea down more. Let's see if we can get it to move a bit. A little piece of green. Do we have any more green left? See a little bit of something right there. Just to fill that in. Okay, so I'm just going to cut my twine off and just kind of tie it in. So I'll just take it, made a couple loose wraps, and I'll just kind of tie it at the back here. I'll wrap it again, put it underneath the loop if I can, tie it through itself. Just tie it off. Get rid of that. Okay, so this is what we're left with. And then I think a nice little ribbon. I'll try and hang it up that way. I think that'll work nice. Oh, let's see if I have enough ribbon. I wonder if the other one's any longer. Oh yeah, this one's a bit longer. Try this one. So we might just tie this one on just to give some loops hanging down. Center it on here. And I'm just going to make a little bow here. Nothing too fancy, but I don't know, I think in spring, simple is the right way to go sometimes, so. Put it like that, and I'll use this to hang. We'll see, these tails might be just too much when I do that, but, so I'm just gonna use the tails from the bow ribbon to tie it onto the form. I think that'll be too much. We'll just let the bows hang down, and I'll use a bit of twine to hang it to the door. So there. I think that'll be nice. It'll have to hang like this to be on the door, I think. Well, I guess I'm using twine. I could hang it up here. Yeah, I think that works. I think that's a good size because a little bit of cheer, and it looks better than the winter thing that was up there. So let's get a bit of twine to hang it up, and we'll go put it on the door. Decided a bit of hairspray might be a good idea just to try and hold these together, since these hydrangeas are a little damaged here. Hopefully that keeps it from falling apart in the door there. That bow was way too small. I think that bow looks better like that than how I had it before. Now, if I lived near a better craft store, I could probably do a better bow on there, get some nicer ribbon, but that'll have to do. You know, using just dried flowers, a little bit of reuse from the winter wreath, and it looks pretty good. So hopefully this gave you some inspiration to maybe do something to, you know, bring a little spring into your front entrance. And look around your yard and see what you can find. Even in the snow-covered world that I live here in Saskatchewan, Canada, I was able to find enough things to make myself a little bit of a wreath for my front door still. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.